Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal, Divine Messenger, delivering messages to you from the higher realms. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a disclaimer up on this reading right to start. I feel that you should listen to the entire reading before you hold judgment on what I'm going to be bringing, because there are many levels to this. That's something that I've been realizing within the spiritual battle, the warfare, okay? Because there's some of you, like, you could feel as though you're being guided to certain places or down certain rabbit holes, you could say, that could be pulling you off path and off course. And it's something that I've been going back and forth with. Some of the things I've been like, am I getting pulled? Is this guiding me towards the false light? Is this pulling me into the matrix? Is this but illusions? And I've been talking a lot about the matrix and the system and about AI. And what's interesting is I got caught up when I heard somebody say that not all AI is bad. Now, for one, it's artificial intelligence, right? It's programmed, it's coded. And that didn't sit right with me. When somebody was like, there's good, no, to me there's not. I am not going to sit here and I'm not going to say that there is good AI, because it is coded that way. And maybe I feel so strongly about that is because there's so much corruption and there's so many things that are pulling you off path. And because physically in my world, I've seen how I have been infiltrated, how I've been misled, and especially with how they're integrating our bodies with AI technology by dosing our foods with heavy metals and the skies and the seeding and all of that to get us to integrate, right? So they can magnetize and pull us in certain ways. Now, I had no idea that the spiritual warfare and to the access that I've been receiving lately. Like I said, please do not hold judgment for what I'm saying. This is also me finding out the truth. So there could be certain variables and certain things that I change on whim. And like I said, for some of you, like when I disclose a big piece of information of a download that I received this morning, I've had to really sit with this. And even I've realized that I have been manipulated or controlled, and that I was part of this agenda at some point. So there are some beings, okay, that are going to realize that they've been getting used and manipulated by dark forces. Like there's levels to this, okay? Now, keep in mind, like I've been talking a little bit about tarot, right? And how lately I've been guided towards the traditional tarot because I felt as though things were getting corrupted, right? Certain frequencies and levels. And I've talked about that before in my readings, that some of you, it's like I've been watching some of my readers, right? And when certain cards sometimes come out, I see their energy level shift. And it's like they get guided, and then I feel like their readings get compromised, right? So I'm like, what is going on with this? And finding out that a lot of the tarot, especially the traditional Rider-Waite tarot that I have felt guided, almost pulled to use as of late, that a lot of them are actually encoded, okay, with false programming to actually put you down a certain path, a certain matrix, if you would, especially like looking at the major arcana. It tells a story, right? Now, some can read it as there's different levels, like some may see the Chariot as a level of ascension, but finding out that even that could be corrupt. We're all about finding out level, like reaching the level of ascension, breaking free from this false matrix, breaking free of the reincarnation cycle and being bound to this earthly plane, being bound to the 3D. That we know that going to the light is false. You don't go to the light. You do not. You break the reincarnation cycle. And that's why they seek you into wanting to find the light and ascension and focusing solely on that light. But what if there were certain beings that were actually guiding you to a level of ascension, to reach a level of awareness, but you were almost going to their level of entrapment? What if there was literally like forces externally that were trying to almost capture you before breaking free? It's kind of like things have been written, things have been hijacked, right? And there's certain beings that thought that maybe they're unaware of what they were doing. Maybe it was a way to restore their race. Now, I'm going to talk about the new movie Superman that I just seen, okay? Now, a part that I'm going to disclose of the movie, like it gets disclosed in the beginning of the movie, but and the whole movie goes off of it. All right, but if you are one where you do not want any spoilers and you want to see the new Superman movie, then I'm going to tell you, fast forward right now, because I'm one where I don't like to reveal stuff on new movies and ruin stuff for people. So jump ahead like 5 minutes in this video if you don't want anything disclosed and you're wanting to see the new Superman movie, okay? All right. Okay, so in the new Superman movie, there's a transmission that he's trying to restore in the very, very beginning from his parents, where his parents had left a digital imprint and it's corrupted, okay? And so throughout the movie, in the beginning part of the movie, they are trying to reveal the last part of it. The last part reveals that Superman was sent to planet Earth by his parents to almost be a leader over Earth, to okay, you're so cute. She wanted me to show you the pillow. I just took my kids to see the movie, so she's cute. She heard me say Superman. All right, so anyway, you know, everybody looks at Superman, you know, as the hero or whatever, but anyway, which he is in a Starseed, right? And he was sent to Earth to help battle the darkness. But it's almost like yep, and little Superman. He's so cute. Alright, but anyway, so, and even he's upset when he finds out that this transmission comes out, because the enemy forces actually used the truth against him. But anyway, so the transmission, they find out that his parents were literally, the message that they were delivering was that he was getting sent to Earth, right? And he was to actually use his powers to take over control of the Earthlings, because they were a very unawakened and almost dumb race, that they were too weak. I was almost seeing them as being too weak, and to preserve their species was wanting him to take over control of all of the people. And by, you know what I mean? So then everybody was turning against him, because they were realizing that, oh my gosh, like he was basically finessing us, protecting us and all of this, but really he was seeking to gain our energy, right? And almost energy harvest off those beings. And that's kind of what is going on here with this false matrix, is there's levels to this. So finding out that there is a star race that is actually, they are using light and ascension and their teachings, and they were seated here as an even some part of the Galactic Federation. But actually, they had their own agenda, okay, to actually harvest the energies in the souls, to almost, I don't know if it's preserving the race or to almost duplicate Earth, because I've been seeing this, because there's been this duplicating, right? But it's about harvesting the energies in the souls and the ascensions and shifting. Okay, now, before I would say, like, I was literally thinking about this, and I was like, well, what really is evil? What really is darkness? How do we not know that you're sending this in and to try to get me to pull people away from this race? And they are trying to help, but are they being self-serving? Are they really doing that because they feel that, well, Earth is going down anyways, we might as well harvest as many souls as we can and get them over here or whatever? Or is it literally, are they still, you know what I mean? That's why I said there's levels to this. So I'm just starting to find this out. So please do not hold judgment, like, and just run with something. Like, there's levels to this, right? So I'm starting to investigate this. But what I don't like is that there are beings that they're basically teaching you to reach higher levels of ascension and awaken and activate and trust them and get guided towards certain things, but you're getting guided to them instead of breaking completely out of this. You're still surrendering a piece of yourself. You're still, like, you're fully not being authentic, and it's fully not setting you free. It's still serving a certain agenda, a certain, you know what I mean? Like, why are they still trying? You know what I mean? Like, what is this, right? It's still self-serving for an agenda, right? It's really not. Now, there are some, too, I need to say, with this species, that they could be getting used and not even realizing it because they're a part of their star family, their soul family. And it's like, wait, we were sent to planet Earth. We were star-seeded here. We were sent here to awaken the Earthlings, to activate them, to get into ascension. And for some of you, it's like you've been getting like duped by your own star family. Like realizing like, yeah, I'm here on mission. I'm awakening, right? And just like with the tarot, right? Finding out that the major arcana and everything is tainted with sigils and all sorts of things that almost hypnotize you at whim upon using them, and that's what it's doing, and controlling you to an evolutional like process that it's keeping you in a false matrix and a false light. That's what I mean. And I've been feeling guided to get away from tarot lately. I've been like, I need to be more into my oracle, right? And because there are certain people too that had very dark belief systems that printed these, like Masonic and structure, control. I mean, think about how each of the tarot, each of the cards have a certain frequency, a certain like meaning, a certain level, right? And it's supposed to be having us look into our soul, right? And our soul's journey, but it's keeping us in structure. It's keeping us bound to a certain pattern. Because if you know the true meaning of following the tarot, you start with the full, and there's different levels that you go through, right? Different levels of activation, different levels for the soul evolution, but it's all programmed and it's all controlled, right? So really, it's keeping you bound in a certain pattern, in a certain structure. So that's why I've been feeling guided to get so many decks. And I love all the new age decks and all the new meanings and all the different meanings. And I do love all of the different style oracles, right? And that's why I feel I channel more. Like, I love seeing the decks that people create, the index cards, where people create and they write their own meanings, their own phrases, and they're actually authentically pulling in on their own energy, where they're not using too much. Because I really feel like I really felt pulled to this, but I felt like I was guided and I was told, which I've always told my team, right, to guide me to certain decks, to use them for certain times, to deliver certain messages, different frequencies. You've heard that a lot on my channel, where I let you know, oh, we have an astrological alignment, we have something going on here, so I was guided to use a certain deck or whatever. So then I get guided to purchase a certain deck and use it or whatever, right? So there's something very, very significant. And what's interesting is when I was guided to use this deck a lot too, is when they knew that I was doing a lot of work outside under the moon, right? Because I wanted to have a travel deck, a deck that I could use when I was outside, because I have to stay outside waiting to go into work and stuff. So I'm under the moonlight, which is interesting because years ago, I used to be hesitant at even playing with my tarot with the curtains open at night, mind you, because I didn't want any of the dark spirits to really kind of grab me, to control me, to use me, to deliver their messages and agendas. Because there's some of you don't realize when you're calling in ancestors and spirit guides that you can easily be manipulated and controlled. Like I've told y'all too on my channel, like, I didn't realize when I first started using this and I was calling on my ancestors, because I thought, that, I knew that I had a lot of powerful ancestors in my bloodline and stuff. So I started calling on all my ancestors, right? And I didn't realize I got some dark freaking ancestors, right? So I was working with dark energies, and I literally used to feel pulled as soon as I would be doing my invocation. And I used to think, like, gosh, if I don't feel that energy pulling me, then I'm not really connecting. No. It should have brought me back to when I used the Ouija board when I was a kid, and I felt pulled and grabbed by the dark forces, and I could feel the heat and the heavy, the dark energy, right? It's the same thing that was going on with this traditional tarot, right? So, and the same thing, and so for some of you, like, when you're calling on your star family, when you're calling on these galactics, they could be infiltrating you and using you. So they've been using the spiritual community to channel messages and things like that, to lead people towards levels of ascension. Really, I was getting that it's not even about reaching levels of ascension at this point. This is how far the programming and everything that we've went. You know, when you are reaching higher levels of consciousness, you are awakening to remembrance, to what you already know, to what you already believe. They make you believe that you have to ascend, that you have to reach these higher levels, and ascend out of here, right? Maybe to duplicate to the earth that they're creating, right? Maybe this new earth grid, this new earth programming, this new earth. What if it's a whole like jail? Like a whole nother realm. Like, and another thing, and I'm going to talk about not Spider-Man, Superman again for a couple minutes, 1444, so jump ahead to like 16 minutes if you don't want to hear this part from the Superman movie. Alright, but this one doesn't really like disclose as big as the last one. It's just a piece in the movie. So they open up a realm between worlds, right? Where he was using it to, where Lex was using it to, like, as a jail, right? As a way, like a middle point, right? A way to hold people in jail and imprison them, right? So that's what I mean. There's so much, like, beautiful stuff in this movie, which just shows you these realities, right? How things can be created, right? These different realms or whatever. So anyway, like, no, there is false light, right? Okay, so anyway, they've hijacked a lot of us to channel and deliver these messages. And like I said, for some of you, it could literally be who you're calling in, right? And especially it could be like your own like star family, which is so hard. Is like you, like, there are good beings where it's like you wanted to break free and didn't want to be part of this controlling. So for some of you, you're waking up to finding out that you are going to be going against your own star family in a way here. Alright, so now I'm going to reveal the star race and the Pleiadians. Okay, there's something with the 7 star systems, which I know a lot of us work a lot. We hear a lot about the Pleiadians, right? They're the most, the Pleiadians are like the biggest star race that are starseed here. Okay, so that's what I was getting revealed, okay? And so for some of you, like, I don't even know what to say at this point. Okay, except, like I said, I'm just investigating part of this, right? Now, I know I've worked very closely with the Pleiadians, like, my entire time, right? So this is big for me. I was just like, well, was I part of this? Or maybe you're deciding to, like, change sides. Like, I get it. Maybe we had an agenda to come down here to save souls, right? And to get people part of our family, to get people to ascend, but if maybe being here with the earthlings and seeing the love and all of that, like, no, nobody deserves to be controlled. So maybe I am one that's changing sides at this time. So when I was like, why is this going on? What is really dark? What is really I was hearing territorial tyrannical star race. Okay. So I started to look it up. The first thing that comes up is the Galactic Empire is a tyrannical dictatorial government that strives on establishing absolute rule and social control over every planet and civilization in the galaxy. It is a centralized political entity that rules most of all the habitable planets in the setting galaxy. See, this is like going to whole big levels of, like, this is so much more bigger than just like Earth. Like, let me talk a little bit about what's going on right now just in the earthly realm. Like, they are really trying to play out the biblical ending times as we've known that they are, but I don't even know if it's like the rulers of this world that are really doing this. I kind of feel like, in a way, AI is already taken over, like with these geomagnetic storms that are brewing. Like, I don't even feel like it's our beings. I feel like it's kind of just taken off. Like, they already knew that they were doing it when they, like, what's creating these storms is all of the cloud seeding that they were doing, all of the chemicals that they were spraying all over the ground, all over the food, integrating it. They've created all of these things, right? Like, just think, they've been sprinkling all these heavy metals into everything and then injecting them into us and putting them into our foods. And these metals are starting to connect and get together and creating like their own consciousness, right? And that's why they're already controlling our vessels. They're putting these signals out into the devices, into these different things, which is causing you to act in a certain way or whatever. But anyways, the same thing, like magnetically, think these things are getting together and creating these very, very powerful storms, right? And they can control these, because when things are controlled on metals, they're like magnetic and they can be controlled, right? So that's why like these things are like they're hitting major cities and stuff like that. There's so much more. Like I don't even think like I think it's way bigger, right? Now, all right, let me go back down. Okay. So, what I'm talking about is like, I was so focused, and that's what they want us focused on. They want us focused on, whoa, look at what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, this is like the end of times. Look at all this stuff. Like, the floodings are happening. The earthquakes are going off. The volcano, like, all of these alerts. Like, all these things are going off that everybody's so focused on this. And then look, and then the money, and then the world. They've already tested with the 911 going down. I heard there was a whole thing where 911 wasn't even working. It's like these spiritual warfare and attacks. They're doing all of these things to try to keep everybody in worry and fear, but there is so much bigger like things on such a bigger scale that is going on. Like this is really like galactic, like galactic like takeover. Like people just oh my gosh, I'm getting really fired up in this one. Let me bring this back down. So the Galactic Empire, okay, came up with this, right? So the Galactic Empire, also known as the First Galactic Empire of simply the Empire, and later as the Old Empire, was a dictatorship that replaced the Galactic Republic at the end of the Clone Wars. Alright, see, when I was getting this, I was getting about like how, yes, they've been trying to clone Earth, right? But what if that was really not the plan, right? What if all of us have been like New Earth? We're here for New Earth operation. We're here for the new grids. For some of you, you've literally been seeding these things. You've been holding the energetic frequency. We've been creating we've been the ground crew here, creating the New Earth timelines and all of that. But what if what if it's just not what we thought it was going to be? Okay. Proclamation of the New Order. Imperial Charter. I'm just trying to see what's coming up with like what I heard coming through. Like that's the best thing. Like for some of you, so you need to just be careful where you're getting your information. Like I was literally telling myself like I need to go through like a big like spiritual detox, like disconnecting from electron. Like I've been seeing all of the things infiltrating. Like when I finally went off of love, and I was finally like, forget all the messages, all the downloads, all the things that are coming in. I need to go off of like what I feel love to be. Okay, not the control. What is love? What do I feel the frequency of love is? That is the highest frequency. That is love, is that frequency. And that frequency has been getting hijacked by this false light. Like I was literally talking about the sun. That is the most powerful frequency. That the sun is love energy. That's what brings life to everything. Okay? That's what heals about. It's everything. That's the true light. Okay? The frequency of love. That it gives love. And why do you think they put so much? And they've even been creating a false sun. All sorts of stuff. There's so much that they've been trying to block us out. There's levels to this stuff, okay? So when I started to just follow love, right? I feel like they're blocking out because they fully don't want me to disclose stuff because I need to be be careful to not be getting attacked, right? And I had to ask for heavy spiritual protection for my family, for everybody, because I know that this is going to send a lot of stuff out there, right? So what I want to what I wanted to reveal to you, a personal aspect of my life, they're telling me not to for protection purposes. And it's probably to protect my family. Okay. So, wow, what am I at too? Yeah, I'm almost out of time. 23:55, that could be significant. There's only 24:31 available on this time for this video, and those numbers alone are significant because every time it's like the video and the time that I have available is different. I know I don't have a lot of memory on my phone. I have to clear space and always drop and erase my videos before I do the next one, but maybe that's significant. 24:14. So I'm running out of time. Definitely take a look at some other readings. I'll be revealing some other things. Right, I did get guided to using some of these love oracle cards that I see so many using in the collective at this time. So I'm going to be putting together some